Listen, it's no secret, most people waste their entire youth. Everyone talks about success, but they feed you surface level crap and shortcuts that don't work. What if I told you that what actually separates those who go down in history and those who stay average forever comes down to just two core skills. Two skills that 99% wish they developed earlier. So I have a question for you. What separates a great general from a bad one? A great businessman from a bankrupt? A country leader remembered after decades, centuries, and the one forgotten immediately? Hell, even me from last year and from right now. And the answer is, it's a skill of strategizing. One of the most important skills that you can learn. Strategizing is a skill of setting goals and making a plan to achieve them. And most people are just terrible at that. Look at credit card debt or other real life examples. There are many very common life situations that can absolutely be avoided if people just master the simple skill of strategizing. And here are a few examples. You might ask me now, how do you strategize? What's the easiest way to do this? The easiest way to strategize is to use checklists. Checklists, as weird as it sounds, is a very simple and effective tool. It's almost like a cheat code, because when you make a checklist and you actually do the things on the checklist and then mark it as done, you get this reward feeling, as if you're playing through a quest in a video game. It gives you a feeling of achieving something, and that creates momentum, and that momentum makes you more productive. Another thing that you need to get right about strategizing is setting goals. The best way I found to set goals is to set goals for life, 1 year, aka short-term goals, and daily goals. So you have long-term goals, short-term goals, and daily goals. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to stick with your goals forever. For instance, if you set your life goals today, it doesn't mean that they have to stay the same 10 years from now. It just means this is something you are trying to achieve right now. So you can change it in the future, but it's just something you know you are working on right now. Same thing with the yearly goals. You can change them, you can add something to them, or you can abandon them and go for something else. The good way to know if it's really worth abandoning a goal is if your new goal is harder than the previous goal. Then you know for sure that you did not abandon that goal because it was too difficult, and rather because it aligns with your plans better. As for daily goals, you need to divide them in as many little steps as possible. For instance, you're working on a YouTube video. Don't just create a YouTube video. Start with writing a script. Then divide writing a script on many other goals. For instance, write a hook, write a body, write a call to action, whatever. Then make a goal of refining the script. Don't just make big goals for the day. Break them down into small steps, because each step achieved will give you a feeling of achieving something. And as I said before, that feeling creates momentum, which means that you will want to check off more and more of these steps. Also, it helps if you really don't want to do anything that day. You just open your goals and see, oh well, that goal is really small, it takes only 5 seconds, and you start doing this goal, and then maybe you will do another one, maybe you will not, but if you will not, it is better to do a little bit every single day than to do a lot once a month. The main thing to remember about strategizing is that it's a skill, and because it is a skill, you will improve it over time. You will get better and better at it, and that will improve your life more and more. Because as I said before, it doesn't only improve your productivity, it improves your whole life. It improves your financial situation, it improves your health, it improves anything. This is the most crucial skill for life. So, what are the exact actionable steps? First of all, you need to make a planner. It can be either Google Docs, physical notebook, your phone app with notes. It can be anything, but you have to be able to update it every day, because you will have new goals for every single day. I prefer to use an app called Obsidian. People mostly use it as an app to make notes about what they learn, but I use it for productivity too. It is convenient for me specifically, but honestly you can just use anything you want. So what you need to do is to write down on your preferred way your yearly goals, life goals, and daily goals. Go ahead and do that right now and start with the long-term goals. Things you want to achieve in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. It can be something like earning $1 million, buying a giant house in Miami, whatever. To determine your long-term goals correctly, think about where you want to be in, let's say, 20 years, and write it down. Again, these goals can change over time, so don't worry about getting it right at this very moment. Then proceed to the yearly goals. Whatever you think is important right now, whatever you think that will lead you to these life goals, write this down. This is something that you will be actively working on every single day. Next, you need to determine your daily goals based on your short and long-term goals. You will have to do this every single day, so this is the most important part of this strategizing plan. In order to set your daily goals, think about how you will achieve your yearly goals, what you need to do in order to do this, and try to do this every single day. So for instance, your goal is to have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So in order to do this, you need to make videos. Now, you can make a goal of writing a script for your video, and then divide that goal in many steps. For instance, think of a topic, think of a title, think of a thumbnail, and so on. The most important thing is to divide a big goal into small goals. Again, long term, short term, and daily. Go ahead and do that right now. So, let's say you've built your perfect plan. Your goals are clear, your steps are outlined. At this point, you are already miles ahead of the average Joe, but you're still missing one key skill to become unstoppable. Now think, what's the most important thing to do after making a plan? And that is, of course, execution. Who would have thought of that, right? Imagine there is a war, there is a battlefield, and there is a general who commands the army. He has a plan. However, he sees a fight that he can win right now, and he takes some troops. He diverts these troops to win this fight, and this fight is won. This general won. He got the glory. He feels like a winner. However, those troops were needed somewhere else, and now the whole front is collapsing, and now he lost the war even though he won the fight. All of that happens when you do not delay gratification, and that's the second skill you need to master, the skill of delaying gratification. Delayed gratification isn't just a skill, it's a life philosophy. This is what separates those who make plans and then do nothing about it, and those who actually achieve their goals. I'll give you an example of delayed gratification. For instance, your goal is to have a six-pack, and you know exactly what to do to get a six-pack. You need to have a clean diet, and you need to exercise. But then, one day, your mom brings you candy, and you see this candy and you think, that candy probably tastes so good, I want to eat it right now. And then you eat it. But what happens next? You are getting fat. You are getting farther away from your goal. Instead of following your diet, instead of trying to achieve your goal, you are doing things that feel good right now, but actually moving you farther and farther away from what you actually want. That's what instant gratification is, and that's the opposite of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is when you say no to that candy, is when you say, no, my six-pack in the future is more important than feeling good right now. That is the philosophy of delayed gratification. And it's a skill too. The more and more you do this, the easier it becomes. So over time, it will get easier and easier for you to delay gratification, to go towards your goals rather than instant pleasure. Now, how do you develop this skill in real life? What do you actually do to develop this skill? First of all, you need self-awareness. You need to be aware of these delayed and instant gratification situations. For instance, this example with the candy. Notice when you have a choice between instant and delayed gratification, and act in a way that prioritizes your future goals, the delayed gratification. Second, more of a direct example, everything that improves your discipline also improves the skill of delayed gratification. So what you can do, and that's a very easy, actionable step that you can do every single day, just make your bed after you woke up. By forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do every day, you improve the skill of discipline. And by becoming more disciplined, it is becoming easier and easier for you to delay gratification. What massively helps with delayed gratification is actually meditation, or what Andrew Huberman calls it, non-sleep deep rest. Whatever you call this, meditation is a scientific technique that helps you to develop your prefrontal cortex. If you want to learn more about meditation, you can find a video about it on my channel. So those were the two skills that separate the great people from the average people. Now when most of the viewers clicked off, let's talk about something else. My name's Mike. I started this YouTube channel more than a year ago, and I had many difficulties on the way that made me to take a break. And as you can see, I'm back. I never gave up on my dream of becoming a YouTuber, and I never will, and you shouldn't do. Remember, discipline is freedom. And I see you in the next one.